if I have to get a progress report on my husband, then I don't need to probably be in this relationship. You know what I'm saying? Our progress report is our accountability to each other. It's not me checking on you to make sure that you're being faithful to me.
3, 2, 1, 0. All engine.
Whether you've been married 1 or 20 plus years, at some point, you realized you were married into crazy.
And that's what our podcast is all about. We offer love, laughter, and a dose of reality as we unpack this crazy thing called marriage.
So sit back, relax, and get your ear hustle on. It's time to start the conversation.
All right, let's go.
Welcome to episode 105 of the Married into Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey.
Take
I'm
3.
Lovey.
Just saying, take 3.
She couldn't wait to say it till I was done talking, though.
No.
Right? She's
Take
like,
3.
Take 4.
I just wanted
This is
you
take
to
number 4.
See, I was giving you some grace.
For those of you married, you know what I'm going through right now.
Really?
You know.
Really?
You know.
Look, y'all, if it would have been me making the mistakes, Lovey would have been upset
They weren't
with
mistakes.
me. Lovey. Okay.
I was testing you.
That's what we're going to call it.
That's what we're going to call it.
Okay.
That's my story, and I'm
All
sticking
right.
to it.
No problems.
So welcome to episode 105 of the Married into Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey. Once again, I'm Lovey.
I'm Snooks.
And we married, y'all.
They know that.
Almost 24 years.
Yep.
And it's
Dang.
little things like this
We
where
almost been
she
together for a
calls
quarter
my
of a century.
tests mistakes.
We almost been together for a quarter of a century, Lovey.
Seriously, I know. It's crazy, right?
That's
And there's a lot of
crazy.
couples out there, whether you've been together 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, 36 years, however many years, you know that there's always something new to discover about your spouse or about your mate. And the thing that I discovered today is that she gives me grace. Did not know that.
Wow. Well, you didn't know. I'm doing a bad job then to letting you know.
No. I know for a fact. Hey, so this
I'm
is
doing
Labor
a bad
Day.
job.
This is Labor Day weekend. Do you know what Labor Day weekend signifies?
Yeah, the people that labor, they get a day off.
Pretty much. So Labor Day is a federal holiday of the United States celebrated on the first Monday in September to honor and recognize the American labor movement and the works and contributions of laborers to the development and achievements of the United States. I find that to be, I always wondered, like, what is Labor Day all about? And when I looked it up, I thought, how funny that when I finally look up what it means, it's during COVID season when a lot of laborers
Are not laboring.
are not laboring. A lot of people have been laid off, furloughed. Small businesses are shut down all over the place.
Yeah.
Or they're able to work in a minimum capacity. That's endangering their livelihood.
Yeah, okay, so there's a commercial that's kind of new. It's fine. There's a commercial, it's kind of new, about the small businesses, and they're just talking about, what was that, Coogan's?
Oh, Coogan's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was kind of touching because you think about, we were just kind of talking about small business, and I was just thinking about all of those people who have lost their businesses, so they're closed, or, your livelihood or whatever. And it's like, if we wear masks, let's just be protecting ourselves, but support the small businesses as much as possible,
Absolutely.
because those are the ones that are in danger of being able to come back. So
If you haven't noticed, every single podcast, I don't know that we're going to do it today because we didn't really discuss it, but every podcast we try and highlight a small business that we're aware of, that we've either worked with or that we really admire. And we've been doing that from time to time over the course like the last 5 or 6 podcasts. Today, like I said, we didn't really prepare for one to call one out, but I will say this. All small businesses out there, and we're talking the mom and pops, the restaurants that are in your neighborhood, that are close to your neighborhood. I know it's nice to get the drive-in and the drop-offs, Uber Eats, all that from the regular chains or what have you. I mean, like the bigger chains, but support your small businesses, everyone that's out there, because when you think about entrepreneurship and the backbone of America, it is small business. It's not the big Microsofts and all that. While they're huge and they do provide a lot of jobs and what have you, but when it comes to business as a whole, when it comes to what America is about, it's about the American dream has been built on the small entrepreneur. about having that dream of creating something, doing something, and rolling your life into it. Much like us. I mean, our dream is to help other couples, many other couples. Our goal is to touch 1 million couples, 1 million relationships that we can help individuals really get to that next level or maintain or hold on long enough to where they can see some of the fruits of their labor like we did in ours. And not that we don't go through it, but this is a small business as well. You know, we have coaching, we have workshops, the whole 9 yards. As a matter of fact, since you're bringing it up, workshops. We have a workshop coming up at the end of this month that is it's a live workshop where you can actually be together with us intimately along with several other couples. And it's going to be live. And it is always on the last Saturday of the month, which is
September 26th. It's from 10 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. approximately.
11:30 a.m. 10 a.m. to 11:30
p.m. It's all day, y'all. Y'all got us all day.
This is one of those marathon workshops.
No,
we're going to
so
talk
sorry.
marriage all day.
About
long.
90 minutes. Sorry, guys. Yeah, it's about 90 minutes, 11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m.
10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m.
Did I say it again?
You said 11 a.m.
Wow. Okay,
So,
let me just stop talking.
We're going to turn off her mic. But she had y'all running around chasing your tails.
Like, what had happened was, no.
No, so it's one of those things. Go to our website, www.marriedintocrazy.com. And right there on our front page, it says that you deserve a 5-star marriage. And click on that link. And not only will you get a free webinar right there and then, along with the resource that we provide for everyone, but you'll also have an opportunity to sign up for a workshop. Please go there, do that. It's been phenomenal. We've been having a great time. We've had people internationally participate. And the more individuals that participate, we try and cap it around 25, 30 couples. But it's people chiming in from a variety of different aspects of their relationship. It's people that are premarital, people that are married, people that have gone through divorce. We've had singles on there trying to gather their. So let me ask you, here's the thing. Why would you do this? Why, if you were, I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
Yeah, why would you participate in this workshop?
Well, it's about communication, and it's a way to learn how to communicate better, more effectively. So I know that communication is one of the key components of a relationship. So I would do that.
Communication is a thing that we always come back to, because the better you can communicate, the better you can listen, because communication is a two-way street.
And one thing about Crazy too, it's about how we communicate. We say it's a Married into Crazy communication workshop, but it's learning how to communicate with compassion, learning how to communicate with realism, accountability, being zealous in your communication, and yielding in your communication. Because, you know, we can say it's effective communication, but what does that really mean? To every person's effectiveness is different. So we break it down using those 5 pillars of the how to communicate with compassion, with realism, and stuff like that.
Right. So if you didn't catch it, everything she just mentioned that Snooks talked about spells crazy. That's the whole premise. It's not a negative connotation when we say married into crazy. Married into crazy is about being compassionate, real, accountable, zealous, and yielding. So that's one of the things we talk about, but we also give you a huge bonus. Within the workshop, we provide you with your own disc assessment along with a 22-page personalized document that is going to help you understand yourself, why you do the things that you do. It's about your preferences and tendencies. And the beauty of it is you will be with 2 extreme execution certified coaches. Well, I'm certified. Snooks is about to be certified. She's gone through the coursework as well. So I'm also a certified Intermetrics consultant, which Snooks will be upon completion of her extreme execution coaching certification as well through by Eric Thomas and Associates. So join us. It's a lot of fun. And the last thing I'm going to say is don't forget to let other people know about this podcast. So go to Apple Podcast. Not only do we want you to put 5 on it, we want you to tell 5 people, but go ahead and give us a rating. Give some thoughts. Let us know what you think, and then share it with other individuals so we can increase the discoverability along with other people.
Yeah, and it's not just on Apple.
No, it's not just on Apple. But that's the only place where you can go and leave.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, you know, your venue may be different. How you listen, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Oh, did you say we're on Pandora? I think we said that before. We're on Pandora. It was kind of cool. I was cleaning the car out, working out. That was a workout, mind you. And I went on to Pandora, and I saw us on Pandora. I was like, oh,
Hey.
hey.
Yeah, so there's a variety of different ways that you can participate and get your friends and family to participate as well. So please definitely do that. And if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, comments, you can always text us at our Iron Tribe text community, which is area code 918-351-2799.
That's 918-351-2799. I'm surprised you did that. Usually Lovey doesn't like me to repeat because I like to sound like a commercial. That's 918-351-2799.
Now, I love it when she says it. She just says it a gazillion times. No, so, hey, again, I hope you're all enjoying your Labor Day weekend. And we thank you for, at least on the tail end of it, you know, as we get past Labor Day, by the time you listen to this, that you're joining us as well. So I kind of wanted to get into and give everybody an update on what's been going on with us. So First and foremost, we are in today is day 29.
Is it?
Day 29 of 75 Hard. As you guys can tell, is it? As you can tell, only one of us is keeping track.
Well, I was about to say, I'm doing it though. That's all
She's
that
doing
matters.
it. I'm doing
it.
75 Hard. She's just doing 75.
I'm doing 75.
No, and 75
This
Hard.
75 is hard. I know you, Shane.
It's a fun program. It started off for us as
Fun.
It's not fun, but it started off as a fitness journey. But realistically, what it's truly supposed to be is a mental toughness exercise. For 75 days, we work out twice a day for 45 minutes. One of them has to be outdoors. Mm-hmm. We also read 10 pages a day, nonfiction, drink a gallon of water, eat a certain way. You can choose what you want. If you want to do keto, if you want to do Whole30, if you want, but you have to have
Some type of healthy eating.
and stick to it. Stick to your regimen. No cheat days, no alcohol, no snacks. When I say snacks, like cheating, like sugary type stuff or
I was
whatever.
about to say, because I
Eat strict. It's about eating strict.
So let me just say
And you have
this.
to take a progress picture every day.
My struggle is how much water I drink. I struggle with the water. Drinking a gallon of water is, as Lovey pulls his big giant jug out and trying to throw shade on the YouTube. Anyway.
Not throwing shade. It's just what I do.
Yeah, you see he didn't take a guzzle until I said about what my struggle was. Anyway, so that's kind of one thing that I struggle with. And also, it's like these last couple of days, I'm like, I want some popcorn and licorice. I
No,
want
she
some
would walk
Red
around the
Vines.
house
I
telling
want
her
a
daughters,
Pepsi.
I want some peach cobbler.
I want some peach cobbler so bad. Y'all don't know.
And I'm listening, but I'm not listening.
But I mean, all I said was I want some, and I'm not going to go get any. I've been doing good.
No, you have been
I've been doing
good.
great, as a matter of fact. Anyway.
There's been 2 or 3 days though that have gotten really tough. Like last night, as a matter of fact, I had a difficult time yesterday drinking my water for whatever reason, and I didn't finish up my gallon until like right around 11:30 at night.
Bed.
And of course, guess who was up all night peeing? That was me. Getting up, I definitely didn't get the sleep that I wanted because I was up urinating all night long. But if you do it smart and you spread it out throughout the day, try and get it knocked out the early part of the day, then you're golden.
Yeah. But it's challenging, but it's also rewarding for me because now I'm starting to see changes in my body, which is a good thing. So anyway, there we are.
So again, it's about being mental toughness, which, hey, look, being married, marriage ain't for punks. It's not for the lighthearted. It's something that you have to do because you have to be mentally tough because there's times when you're right. There's times when you're not right. And there's times when you just got to suck it up, buttercup, and deal with it. Mm-hmm. And it comes across all the time. And I think that there's different aspects of our relationship over time where it would have been better had we had the mental toughness.
Yeah.
And I think that comes with maturity, with age, and also recognizing that each of us has a responsibility to each other within our relationships. And if you don't know our story, it's one of those things where you, go back and listen to episode number 1, Bamboozled, and then kind of listen in sequence because the first probably 1 through 20 gives a really good account of a lot of the things that we've been through in our relationship. And of course, we stack on that as we go.
Mm-hmm.
But
we haven't told like every single thing, but we've told a great deal, or a good portion.
Most of it. We didn't need to go into how I discovered you stripping at the pole. And
you threw all your cash at me.
And I threw a credit card up on
everything,
stage.
Everything.
I even threw my change. I threw some nickels and some dimes up there.
I kicked those back. I want them.
No, we didn't tell it all, but we told it all.
Anyway.
No, so go back and listen to it. But, so what we wanted to do was kind of cover, there was an email that we received.
So we received an email. I won't say any names or anything. She's just trying to get some info. So I won't say trying to get some info. Anyway, I'm going to read it. So it says, Snooks and Lovey, do you have each other's passwords to your devices and accounts? I have been married for 5 years and told my husband to give me his password to his computer and his phone. Initially, he refused, but with more persistence from me, he relented only after he said he wanted to make sure it's presentable. I asked what that means, but he never answered the question. He has been unfaithful in the past, but he said that was then, this is now. So this is my second marriage, and I don't want to put my child through another divorce. How would you navigate through these waters?
That's interesting because, the thing that stands out to me first and foremost is she had to ask her husband for his password.
Mm-hmm. So let's answer that question first. So yes.
I was, but go ahead.
Oh.
Go for
I
it.
just was saying, yes, we have each other's passwords. I know Lovey's passwords, and Lovey knows mine too, but he likes to forget he knows mine, I feel like, because he always asks me for it. So
I know variations on her password because she never remembers her password because she does variations on her password.
I know
she never writes them down.
I just don't remember my Apple ID.
Anyway,
okay, that's it.
Try this, try that, try this, try that. So why remember something when you don't remember? Anyway, I write all mine down. I got a booklet, and I always tell her the booklet's over there. It's got everything in there.
I never go in there.
But see, here's the thing.
Okay, go ahead.
When it comes to asking your spouse or your significant other for their password, call me crazy, but I don't think anybody should ever ask for that because it should be immediately, you guys should know each other's. There should be no boundaries. It should be one of those things that I don't understand why somebody would have something in their phone or on their computer that isn't open access to both of you.
Well, I feel like that too. I mean, unless there's something to hide, what would be the...
It's the only thing I can think of.
Now, I mean, initially be like, oh, shoot, I forgot to get your password or whatever. Or what is it? And then there should never, even if you don't just voluntarily ask me for it, that's not just something you're like, oh, here, you want all my passwords? It's not like, we didn't do that. So it was only when I needed to get into your stuff, or I'd be like, babe, where's blah, blah, blah. And you'd be like, oh, look on my phone, or, oh, look in my laptop. I'm like, oh, well, what is the password? And then you gave it to me, and I either remembered it, or whenever I would ask, when I needed to get in it for whatever reason, you would just give it to me. There was no hesitation. And same thing with me, as far as even with emails, you're like, oh, I think they said they sent it to your email. I'm like, okay, well, can you just look it up? And you're, oh, well, what is your password? And then I'll tell you. I mean, that kind of thing. It was like never any hesitation. There was never any, oh, well, I don't know if I should give it to you because I'm your wife.
Yeah, there's nothing to hide.
I'm supposed to be the person that, of all people, we're supposed to trust each other because that's what our relationship should be built on. It's about trust. I have absolutely nothing to hide except for extra $100 or something like that.
She's done that. She has hidden money.
I still do.
Wow. And the truth comes out, ladies and gentlemen, on this recent episode of Married into Crazy. Snooks hides money.
I hide money.
No, but you're absolutely right. But, well, to a certain extent, I always volunteered. I've always given it to you, but I don't think she always listens.
Well, I mean,
don't think she
you
cares.
don't just be like, hey, you come home. I have a new device. Do you want my password?
No, but I'll sit there.
Like
something's going on. I'm like, hey, okay, just make sure you know mine. She's always asking me, because it's funny. We have all these different devices. And she's like, what's the password on this? What's the password on that? And sometimes I have to look in the book as well because I don't even remember the passwords. But we have a central location, at least for my devices, that she can actually access. And hers, she only really has.
I have quite a few.
Yeah, you have like 3 now I think about it.
Thank you.
But we do. It's one of those things where if you have nothing to hide, there should be no reason or any hesitation. Or what did he say? Need to make presentable?
He needs to make it presentable. So I'm like, okay.
As is.
That's a red flag for me. you know, if you have to make it presentable, then that means that there's something on there I should not be seeing.
Right.
And if I should not be seeing it, you shouldn't have it on there, because we should be an open book as far as what you need. Hey, go check it out, or go whatever. It should never be about, okay, hold on, let me scrub this right here, and then I'll make sure it's all pretty for you, you know. So, but on the flip side of that, I also feel like if I have to ask for passwords, if I need a password, then I probably need to pass on the relationship. That's just me, because that signifies secrecy.
But you need my passwords.
No, but what I'm saying, if I'm asking, like, oh, I need your password.
I'm begging, and it takes days to get it.
Yeah, like I need it. Okay, so the reason that I need your password is because at that moment I need to get something off of your computer. I'm not just, okay, give me your password so I could check on you.
So the intent behind it.
Yeah, what is the intent? Because okay, I should have probably set that up better. What is the intent of asking for the passwords? Now, I'm thinking just from the email that we received, maybe because there's a trust issue, probably because he cheated prior. So if you're, excuse me, if you're needing the passwords to see what he's doing and to check up on him, that's like a progress report or something like in school. Okay, young man, I'm going to give you a progress report. I'm going to check and see how you're doing and see if you're performing like you should be. Did you dot all your I's? Did you cross all your T's? Did you put in commas, or, you know, did you turn your assignments in and things like that? That's not the way from me to have a relationship. Because if I have to get a progress report on my husband, then I don't need to probably be in this relationship. You know what I'm saying? Our progress report is our accountability to each other. It's not me checking on you to make sure that you're being faithful to me, or you're withholding the vows. Because let me just say this for myself. Like I said, if I need passwords, I probably just need to pass. If I'm asking for passwords for that purpose, I probably need to pass on the relationship. It's not something that I need, because what I want is a life partner. I don't want to have a child for the rest of my life who I have to check on and make sure, are you doing what you say you're going to do? Did you clean your room up? Did you do, our kids grow up and they eventually move out. We don't have to keep checking on them. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying?
Some move out, and I still feel like I need to check on them, but we won't go there.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. No, I do, but I think it's more
know.
about the intent behind it.
Right.
The thing about, if I need to get your password, well, I think I need your passwords just so I can get in.
Right.
But I know what you mean. It's the intent behind it. If I need to get your password because I don't trust you, I need to check up on you.
Right.
I need to see what kind of dirt you're hiding from me.
And here's the other part too. If I need to see, why do you need to see it? If you know that this person is doing it, if you need to, why do you need to see it? You don't need to see it. You know it's there. Just take the L and move on. And actually, I don't even want to say it's taking the L. You just did me a favor, sir. Thank you very much. Now I can move on with my life. I can stop settling for where I am right now and thinking that it's going to be different. It's going to be different. If I know instinctively, I know that there's something, then why am I going to settle for this?
But is it really that easy?
No, it's not really that easy.
She did, wait, okay, what did she say?
She said that she has this is her second marriage.
Second marriage.
And she doesn't want to put her child through another divorce. So I will say, you go. I'm sorry.
I was going to counter.
The whole thing.
I know you took some notes. I wish I would have read this email before right now, but so I can have some notes too. But
I told you to read it. See, just okay. Never mind. I'm not going. I'm
always telling her, check the email. Check the email.
I'm not going to rehash.
I always tell her, check the email. And the one time I don't check the email, no. So anyway, I think that you don't want to put your kid through another divorce, but I think the danger in itself is it depends on framing. If you have to go through another divorce, and again, we're not advocating divorce unless it's, like we always say, unless there's abuse, mistreatment, what have you, in some way, shape, or form. But if you do have to go through that, and your concern is about not dragging your kid through that again, I think it's more important to think about framing it in the respect that, son, we're going through this again because I need to be treated a certain way. And a man, this is an opportunity to teach him, your son, what it is to be a man. A man should not have to hide certain things. And I don't know how old your child is. And
Well, I was going to say, it didn't say if it was a boy. It just said my child.
oh, I just assumed it was a boy. But your child, you want to take your
Well,
child
so,
through
I
that
mean,
again.
you can-
But it's about teaching what a relationship is.
You can hit it from male and female, actually. If it's a boy, then you're...
This is not how you treat. The reason why I'm moving on is because of X, Y, Z. As much as you can, you dumb it down to the age where talk about what's relevant, if you will, if you can, for that age group. But then also, if it's a girl, you talk about this is something that you need to actually be able to hold yourself to a higher standard, a higher level of what your self-respect and self-worth is and what you deserve. And if it has to be another divorce, then it has to be another divorce because a person's not participating, or if they're not willing to change, if they're not willing to go through counseling, if they're not willing to go through coaching, if they're not willing to do these things to become a better contributor to the relationship, then, I say exhaust all those, but if you find yourself back at divorce, like, no, I'm just going to do what I'm going to do, and he's a serial cheater, and he's a serial offender, so to speak, then you're going to have to make some adult decisions about what needs to take place. But staying in that relationship because you don't want to take a child through a divorce, that is the wrong message to send, because now you're teaching that child, stick around, be treated a certain way that's less than what you deserve for whatever reason. And here's the other thing. You don't want to see your kid, you don't want your child, because you do. And I'm going to tell you right now, as the child of a divorce, the child will find some way to blame themselves for your divorce, regardless. And if you're treated a certain way, they're also going to find a way to blame themselves for you sticking around. They find out that, oh, I stuck around, like, Mom, why are you doing this? Why are you staying in this relationship when you know so-and-so cheated on you? Well, I didn't want you to go through this. You just planted a seed that I stayed and took this abuse because of you.
Or, if I could counter, they may also develop ill feelings towards you as the mother, because your child could grow up and think of you as a weak person. You stayed and you blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be, so the pendulum can swing either way.
True.
True. It could be that they resent you for staying because they know that the behavior is not, is not good. And you're a doormat or whatever, those kind of things can and will, they have happened. I won't say they will happen, but they have happened. I know people who have children and their child has made those type of statements. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not weak like you. I could blah, blah, blah. And you was the one who,
I've heard people say that. So, I've heard people say that.
Yeah.
To their parents or about their parents.
Yeah. So, Lovey has said what we've said before too. We've had both of our parents have been divorced. My mom and dad divorced when I was 8, and then my dad went on to remarry and got divorced, and then he remarried again. My mom remarried one time. Both of my parents are now widows. My mom's a widow. My dad's a widower. Mm-hmm. So, but we survived.
Right. Well,
we survived.
Between my two parents, I've got what? 5 divorces. Five divorces between my two parents. Dad's been married. So 5 divorces. My father's been divorced 3 times. My mother's been divorced twice. Mm-hmm. Before she passed. My stepdad is, of course, a widower now. Mm-hmm. But so between them, there's, I don't have a negative connotation on divorce. And I know what the Bible says and all that, so don't come at me that way, all you Bible beaters. Because look, what? I'm still working on my heathenhood. No, but I silly. But it's not one of those things where I'm glad my dad got divorced mm-hmm. from my mother. He was not what my mother deserved. Mm. At that time in their lives,
right.
He did not deserve my mother.
Right.
For his actions. And I know that my mom probably had some growing up to do as well. They were young.
Very young. Mm-hmm.
They were young. And then my mother's second divorce. I'm glad she divorced him. I loved him. He was instrumental in a lot of my growth, but I'm glad he did. I'm glad she did divorce him. He still holds a special place in my heart, mm-hmm. though we don't speak. I haven't spoken, nothing negative. I just haven't spoken to him. But my stepsister and my stepbrother from that particular relationship, his 2 children, we are still in contact, and I love them to death. Mm-hmm. or love them to life rather. And then my dad, his second marriage, I'm not quite sure why they got divorced, but she's an instrumental part of my life right now. She and my mother were enemies. I mean, they would have run each other over if they could have got away with it back in the
very
day.
beginning.
But she sends me texts on a daily. I mean, out of the blue moon. Hey, just checking on you. Just want to say I love you. Love your other mom. She and my mother grew to become friends. And then the third wife, I'm glad he divorced her. The third wife, I'm not a fan of. Never have been. My sisters and I are. But I love my siblings that came out of that relationship. Mm-hmm. And I say all that, I know it's a little bit of a sidetrack, that there is good that comes out of divorce. Mm-hmm. I gained brothers and sisters out of those divorces. There's good that can come from it. So don't look at it as a absolute negative. I know it's contrary to what we talk about, being married into crazy, but it's not something you stay in for the sake of, holding on to a word, a phrase, or what have you, just for your child, because you're going to be teaching them the wrong thing when it's all said and done about relationships and what it's supposed to be.
Right.
I know you got some notes, so go ahead.
No, I was just thinking though, like, what was I going to say? So my thing is, I have a question kind of for you.
For me?
Yeah. So
for
this for me? What do you think about complacency? If you're complacent in a relationship that is going bad, or that the person is cheating, and you're just do you view that as encouragement?
Encouragement?
Like, it encourages the behavior. You're not putting your foot down and saying you need to change. You're just sitting back and allowing, I won't say allowing, but letting this other person do whatever.
See, complacency to me in a relationship, we've all been there. I've been in a relationship that was absolutely horrible, and I stayed in it just because I just didn't feel like moving forward or doing something different. I didn't want to learn somebody new or become somebody new so much. And so, but I will say this, I just got on our Bible beaters a second ago, but oops, I hit the
mic. Now you being one of them.
Well, I was going to say, the Bible says, be the either hot or cold, but not lukewarm. Because I know I'm butchering it, but it was like, I will spit you out. I will spew you out. You can't be lukewarm. Lukewarm to me is complacency. You can't sit there in the middle. Either you're in the relationship or you're out of the relationship. Don't just sit there and just exist. Purely existing is not what God had intended for us. There's also the parable of the talents. When you talk about the parable of the talents, the master gave the servants, X amount of talents. And some went out and grew the talents, but the one that took the talents and buried it because they were afraid of creating something, of losing it, afraid of losing it, was chastised. And same thing with our relationships. You grow your relationship, either grow the relationship or get out of it, but don't sit there and just exist and just try and do absolutely nothing and stay on the same plane.
But, okay, so what I'm asking though is, if I'm complicit in the relationship or to the behavior, do you view that as because I'm just sitting and I'm being still, I'm not putting my foot down, I'm not saying you need to change, or I'm just accepting it. Is that, how does that encourage the other person, the offender, I will call, to change, to be different?
It doesn't, because it's just like what we're going through right now in our times. The year is, I don't know when somebody's listening to this, but the year is 2020. It is September 2020, and the United States is going through a reckoning. And right now, there's a social justice movement that's taking place. And one of the biggest issues that we discuss on a day-to-day basis, even at the corporate level, I've belonged to a couple of different corporate initiatives within my organization to discuss no longer being silent, about finding allies, because silence is being complicit in the aggression, and being complicit in the oppression, being complicit in the transgression of what's taking place. Because by being silent, it's giving permission. Silence gives permission.
So isn't that the same as encouraging?
I think so.
Okay. I mean, that thought came to me. I'm not saying that she's encouraging the behavior, but a thought came to me, like, if you're complicit in what's happening and you're not, and I'm not saying that.
How is she being complicit when she's asking for?
Asking for passwords is one thing, demanding a change is something different. And I'm not saying that she is. That's just something that came to my mind because I don't know the full. All I did was read this, and you know how my mind gets. I start asking different questions about, okay, well, what happened here? Blah blah blah.
Well, I feel like the hamster's running. For her to reach out to us and ask, she knows the answers. And I'm not going to say your name or give your initials, but if you're listening to us, you know what you need to do. And I'm not saying it's hard. I'm not saying it's simple.
Not hard.
I'm not saying I'm not going to say it's easy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's simple. The answer is right there in front of you. You know what you need to do. And I'm not saying that it's going to be an easy task or an easy way of going about it. But, you know, and maybe you're just looking for confirmation.
I was about to say, sometimes you look for permission to say, okay, I'm just done.
I've done that.
And it's okay. Because here, my take is, and I'll always say this, don't ever settle. You know, never, ever settle. If you feel like it's not what you want, and you can't make, because we have to also be involved to make something how we want it. You know, I could say Lovey's my knight in shining armor. He is my king, my prince of whatever, and all these different things. And he is all that, but I still contribute to the relationship also.
Amen.
You know, I contribute to my happily ever after. So I'm not just sitting back and just saying, okay, he's here and all the work is done, or he's here and now it's all flowers outside. No, I'm still doing work. I'm still contributing, but I'm not settling on just any old thing. No. So in the other part is too, a lot of times I don't know what made me think about this, but it's like sometimes we take more, we spend more time choosing a car than we do choosing a spouse or looking at our spouse and what it is that we want. I mean, and this is funny because you have to choose a car soon, but you know, we're looking at the interior, what, you know, the safety, this and that, or whatever. We have all these checkpoints on what it is that we want for our car, which is a thing. But we don't do, a lot of times, we don't do those same type of checkpoints with our spouse or what we're looking for. If you don't settle for any car, why would you settle for any man? You know,
or
I'm not going to settle for, well, okay. Sorry, Lovey. Not being sexist here. Sorry, guys. But, you know, we don't settle for any old car. So I'm not going to settle for any old man, you know. And then even with the man that you have, or car analogy again, even with the car that you have, you know, how many times do you take it to the shop? How many times is the check engine light going to come on and you have to, oh, I got to take it back again. Oh, it's for the same thing. Oh, dagnabbit, I just got that fixed. I'm taking it back. Oh, the check engine light came on again. Oh, well, it's the same old problem. Well, we can fix it or we cannot fix it. Oh, well, do you want to, what am I going to do? So,
we've had a podcast on that as well, talking about the dummy lights.
Right. So, but it's like, how many times are you, if your check engine light on your car it comes on, how many times are you going to just blow past it or take it in to get fixed before, are you really going to take a chance of being stranded on the freeway by that car? And
if it was really messed up, like if you take your vehicle in to be worked on by a mechanic, and as expensive as it may be, if you take it in for twice, let's say it's 2 times, for the exact same issue,
exact same thing that was,
you're going to blow a gasket. You're going to go up there and act a fool talking about, look, y'all better fix my car. I'm not leaving here and I'm not paying nothing until you guys, because I've been up here twice already. Da, 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 da. And if you're going to take that kind of stance, like you said, with your vehicle, you need to take that same stance with your relationship, that same stance with your marriage, saying like, look, you done cheated before. We done had this issue. Now, if we're going through that again, we need to talk about it, because I'm not about to go through this again. Either we fix this right now, or I need to turn this vehicle in.
Because I mean, I'm all about grace. I'm all about grace, you know, but when you keep the same thing, it's broken, we fix it, it's broken, it's fix it, it's broken, it's fix it. Next time, it won't be so easy. You won't be stranded somewhere on a hot 112 day on the freeway with the dead cell phone.
See, in the way Snooks' family works, she can make a phone call and the vehicle could end up disappearing and end up in multiple states. They might chop it up, send it to a chop shop, whatever. Wow. So I made sure I got myself straight.
My family like
I'm just saying, y'all roll deep. Y'all roll deep.
That's so wrong.
They know nothing will ever happen to you, because I ain't trying to
wake up,
they know you love me.
Because they know you love me. That's why they're comfortable.
Look, I'm just
Wow.
look, but to get on the serious tip though, to get back into it, if you're listening to us and this was your email, you got some serious adult thinking to do because you got to make the decision. It's not even truly about your child. You have to make the decision. You have one life. This isn't a dress rehearsal.
Yeah.
You need to live the life that God intended for you, and that means that you participate in your own rescue, and you try to make your relationship the best that it possibly can. Have a heart-to-heart, deep talk with that individual that you call your husband, and let them know where you're at, what you will tolerate. And here's the trick, folks. I don't care if you're male, if you're female, where you're at in your relationship. More times than not, and this is in every lot in life, your job, your compensation, what you get athletically, your health, you get just about what you demand. What you demand from life is what it will gladly give you. What you demand from your relationship is what you will more than likely receive as well. What you demand of your health is what you will receive. On the flip side of that, what you don't ask for, what you don't demand, is also what you may end up getting. So you need to take the time to have that relationship, you should have that discussion with the person that you're in a relationship with and lay down your list of non-negotiables. And if they can adhere to that and participate in that, and you can listen to their non-negotiables and you agree, then move forward. But if you talk to each other and it's not working for either of you, they can't adhere to the, oh, you want me to just be with one woman? I got to be just with you? You know, and if they're a man, be a man. Step up. Don't try and be a punk and lie about it. You're supposed to be all that. You
Right.
bragging with your boys, this, that, and the other. Then you know what? Stand up and be like, yeah, this is how it is. This is who I am. This is what I do. Okay, then be that guy.
Right.
Don't be some punk hiding in the shadows. And if I'm calling you out and you feeling some kind of way, then feel some kind of way.
That's right. You're right, though. You're right.
But I'm gonna say this on the flip side: men aren't the only ones that cheat. It goes for my ladies out there as well. If you're gonna sit there and talk about how you a real boss chick and you're gonna do what you do, then let your man know about it. Because bosses do what they do and they have no shame to their game. But if you truly a boss, then let it be known and let that other person have an opportunity to move on.
That's right. Don't hold anyone hostage. You know, that's the big thing for me. Don't play with my heart. You know, do not play with my heart and don't hold it hostage. If I am not who you want, if you thought that I was, and we've done all that we can do, and we, like Lovey said, we went to counseling and we did all these different things and nothing is working and we're still coming back to the same thing, and you just decide, you know what, you are not who I thought you were, or you are not what I want. Be a woman enough or be a man enough to say, hey, I got to go. I can't XYZ, because you're doing me a disservice by keeping me here. And I'm pouring and I'm pouring in and I'm pouring in. And I'm thinking that we're really working on it, when in actuality, I'm really the only one that's working on it. Because at the end of the day, it takes two people to make a relationship. One person can't just do it by themselves. We could say, oh, I'll love you enough for both of us. No, because what's going to end up happening is you may start off thinking you're loving me enough for both of us, but then you're going to start resenting me enough for both of us also.
Hey, man. Look, this is a trust or bust. Either you trust each other or it's a bust. Mm-hmm. That's what it really comes down to. Again, if you guys say it 15 more times in your head, trust or bust.
I'm going to start saying that.
That's exactly what it is. And I apologize. I went back to MetaView there for a second.
It's okay.
I was like, oh, let me go back to my roots.
To your original roots.
And I was actually speaking to who I used to be back before I even got married. Because I really don't like that individual. I don't like who that person was, what I stood for, what he stood for. That Ernie 1.0. Before I became Ernie, I think I'm on Ernie 3.0 right about now, with the kids and grandkids and all that. But anyway, that's a whole other topic. But this is the point in our relationship with you in this conversation that we're going to give two for the road.
Oh,
It's right there.
it's right here.
So, but don't
I was
forget.
deep into the conversation. I forgot about the two for the road. Sorry.
But don't forget, hey, we're going to remind you real quick again. Go to marriedandcrazy.com and look for that button right there on the front. It's an orange button, and it says go to our webinar Find out how we created a 5-star marriage. Go to that free webinar, and from that webinar, you'll have the opportunity to participate in the workshop that's on September 26th, I think it is. Yep. September 26th of this month. It's going to be a lot of fun. We look forward to actually communing and chopping it up, and we'll be on Zoom, and we'll all be together and laughing and joking. And the one thing that we don't talk about is you participate in that, you also automatically become part of our Iron Tribe private community on Facebook as well, where we put some additional information in there. And we've got past speakers that have been on the podcast, past guests that will chime in and talk about certain things and interact with everybody. So it's a nice community where we sharpen each other as couples. So, she already pulled from the I Can. What does yours say?
I can leave a note saying I love you.
Ooh, I love this one. Mine says I can plan a surprise.
Ooh, I love that one too.
But is it really a surprise now?
Well,
Because we just told like all 50 million of our listeners
that what? You're going to
they're
surprise
going to plan
me?
a surprise.
I don't have to know what it is.
Wouldn't a good surprise be no surprise at all? And then she's always waiting for the surprise?
No, I'm expecting that. No, I'm playing.
Wow.
I'm playing.
All right. Well, hey, we want to thank each and every one of you for participating and joining the conversation this week. And once again, we do ask that you go to all of your friends, your family, let them know about the Married into Crazy podcast, because as we increase the audience, it's about expanding the conversation, bringing in different voices, bringing different perspectives. And that's what makes it a robust conversation. That's the goal.
And like Levy said, don't forget about the workshop at the end of the month.
Oh, absolutely. So go to our website right now. That's your call to action right now.
Right now.
To marriedintocrazy.com, and definitely look through the website, look at the coaching and all that. But I really want you to take a look at the free webinar. It's on that front page. It's about getting a 5-star marriage. Participate in that. Get the free resource tool that we offer there, and the marriage audit tool to self-audit. And then, join us. Join us for the workshop at the end of the month.
Yes.
So until the next time, be blessed.
Bye-bye.
Oh, I almost forgot.
Not bye-bye.
So at the very end of this, right when we shut down, you're going to actually hear 8 minutes and 46 seconds of silence. That 8 minutes and 46 seconds is going to be for social justice. It's the number is very significant, and you can put it together. But rather than mention these, we always talk about say their names. And I always hesitate because there's so many names that never get mentioned.
Right. There's a lot. There are more Breonna Taylors and more George Floyds than we know.
And Ahmaud Berry's and Philando Castiles and Mike Brown's. The names go on. They're countless. But the challenge is those are the ones that are in the media. There are so many names out there that I know, that Snooks knows, that you know, that need social justice, that need representation in your community. And we ask that you think of those names as this silence comes up. It's 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Meditate, relax, say those names in your head, in your family, in your neighborhood. So until the next time, be blessed.
Bye-bye.